You're listening to Art of the Unknown, the podcast about traveling inwards, outwards, and onwards. Hey guys, and welcome to episode number 12. So one of the topics that's been on my mind lately is the topic of creativity. I have been really trying to not just understand what creativity means, but also understand my own creative process and what it means to me and how I go about doing it. So obviously creativity is going to mean different things to different people. Yeah, we get that. But what I'm trying to figure out here is, what is that underlining need as a human being to be creative? And I think really what it comes down to is that ultimately it is a mode of expression, but I think it goes a little bit deeper than that. I think it is in a way, it is taking whatever the fuck is inside of you, that whole mess down there, it's taking that and putting it out into the world. It is literally, I feel like, reaching in you and grabbing all of that shit, grabbing all of the pain, grabbing all of the hurt, grabbing everything that just is a little fucked up about you, right? And then just grabbing that and then pulling it out of you. Yeah, you know what? We're all a little messed up, each and every single one of us. We all know that. Not a big deal, okay? We're all in the same boat here, people. But our scars and our pains and our whatever the fuck is wrong with us, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a lot different, actually, than anyone else. So I think that is where creativity becomes important and valuable, because it's taking that unique experience that is you, that is your life that you've been living, and maybe even the lives that you've lived in the past. Who the hell knows? It's taking all of that and just kind of putting it out into the universe, taking whatever the hell is inside of you and putting it out into the world. And it's all going to look different, because everything that brought us up into this point in our experiences and our mindsets and our views are all going to be completely different. And creativity and expression is going to be needed. It has to be done. If you can't fully take everything out of you that is there and expose it to the world, or even expose it to yourself, it doesn't have to be the world, okay? It could be you and the drawing board, and that is it, okay? It never has to see the light of day. It's just you and whatever is coming out of you. And I feel like if you're not able to fully express yourself and let out everything that's inside of you, it's going to sit inside of you, and it's going to slowly start to deteriorate and cause a lot more pain. And yeah, you know what? Sometimes it's not going to feel comfortable letting it out. It's not going to feel comfortable taking apart all of the pieces that are inside of you and putting them out there, but it's something that has to be done, because if not, it's going to cause more trouble than it's actually worth. So when I think about creativity, I think about my own little creative journey, and it's definitely been a struggle. It's nothing that's come easy to me. I feel like I'm still in the baby stages. Like, I'm still learning how to actually not just recognize the fact that I want to create things, but how do I even go about doing it? How do I even begin to ultimately express what the hell is going on inside of me when I don't even know what the hell is going on in there? So expression and creativity, those are needed, but why are they? Why even go down that path of wanting to express yourself? Okay, well, like I said, if not, then the things that are inside of you are not going to actually come out, and they're going to cause you a lot more damage and problems, and it's going to be taking them out. And when I think back about where I felt the most creative and the most inspired, definitely for me, that is going to be travel, which is kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit of the reason why I left. I know that being out there and seeing the world and having all of these new experiences, that is a source of inspiration. And if I want to create, why not go towards the thing that I get the most inspiration from? It just kind of makes sense. And before leaving, there was a few reservations I had about, what's going to happen and what am I going to do. But at the end of the day, it's more about trusting the fact that inspiration is going to come your way. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to obsess about it. If you're going to put yourself out there and just go for it, and you're in the right spot, the thoughts and the ideas and the creativity is going to come to you. And that's kind of the reason why I wasn't too afraid, because I know that if I'm at my best, which is I feel like I'm at my best when I'm traveling and I'm just going with it and I'm being free, I feel like I can probably solve any problem I wanted to in regards to life or figuring shit out. Whatever people are afraid of that's going to happen, I feel like those problems can be solved, and they're going to be solved the best when you're at your best. That just makes sense. So it's not like you have to be afraid going towards the thing that gives you the most inspiration, because you're going to get what you need when you get there. And I feel like that is definitely traveling. And I know that I'm not alone on this. Like, there are so many people out there who find inspiration through traveling. And it just makes sense, because when I have these new experiences and I see new places and I see different ways of doing things, I can literally feel my mind expanding. I sound like such a stoner. I'm not. But sometimes I can literally feel my mind expanding. And I'm not saying that just because it is, in a way, how do I put this? Okay, we're going to get really fucking weird. Okay, so there's definitely been those moments of traveling when I can feel inspiration just completely running through my body. And it's almost as though my body is vibrating on a different level, and it's almost as though my energy is tingling in a way. And at first, this kind of freaked me out. I was like, what the hell is happening? Like, is there something wrong with me? Like, should I go to the doctor? But then it started happening, and then I connected the dots that it always felt like a good thing, and I never felt scared, or I felt like, oh shit, I might be like potentially having a stroke. No, but it always felt right. It felt like this, like I said, like a vibrational tingling going throughout my whole entire body. And it just felt almost as though, this is really hard to explain. That is like the ultimate form of knowing that I am being inspired and that I am exactly where I need to be. And it's everything. It's myself, it's the universe, it's all becoming aligned and showing me a different route or a different path or a different option that I didn't see before. And when I finally see it, it's like, holy fucking shit. Yes, the answer is yes. The answer is always yes. But I think that when you do find that source of inspiration and you do find what you want to go towards, and you do find something that makes sense for you, that is the first step. And usually, in my opinion, that is kind of the easiest step. What comes after? Well, now it's knowing what you want to do, but then it's actually doing it. And that is a whole different battle that you have to fight. Holy hell, okay? And I'm saying this because at least for me, there's a barrier between, or like there's a disconnect between what is inside of me that wants to come out and then what actually does come out. And I feel like having to pull it out every single time is almost painful. It almost, it hurts me mentally sometimes. And even when I record this podcast, it takes me, I have to like mentally prepare myself. I'm like, holy shit, okay, I'm going to talk. Yeah, and sometimes it's difficult getting it out, and it's going to be difficult. And I think for me, the reason that, okay, taking it back a notch. So the reason that it's really hard for me to express myself, whether it's going to be in a form of art or even expressing and saying how I feel about something or how I think or anything, basically anything that's inside of me and taking it out of me and putting it out into the world, that is difficult for me, okay? I'm going to get real right now. My throat chakra is fucked, okay? I know this. It's a little bit closed. It's been closed pretty much my whole life, okay? This is nothing new. And recently, I've just been kind of, not even recently, okay, depends. It's all relative, really. What is time? But I've just been thinking about, why is it so blocked? What the hell is wrong with me? And I know that it has to do with the fact that, one, it's difficult to express myself, which is going to mean it's going to be difficult to create anything that I want to create. But it goes deeper than that. And I really, really think, or I know that what it has to do with is that there is definitely a lack of self-worth involved. Almost as though what I feel and what I think isn't worthy of fully being expressed. And this is definitely something that I've been working on and trying to understand. And it's almost as though what I think, in my mind at least, what I think and what I feel don't necessarily matter. Like, why would they? There's so many people on this earth. Why am I special to feel like my soul deserves space in this world? And yeah, that is unfortunately not the best mindset to have. And I'm not saying this because I'm not trying to get all sad about anything, but I'm really just saying it because I think acknowledging it and understanding it, that has to be where I start. And right now that is where I am at. So yeah, and it's difficult because it's down there. What is inside of me? It wants to come out. I can feel it. I can tell. There's been definitely times in my life where I've been looking for that creative outlet and I just can't find it. And it's sad. It's depressing sometimes. And I'm not saying that I have it all figured out. I absolutely fucking don't. I'm probably the furthest one at this point, I feel, that has anything figured out. I feel like I'm a mess, but that's I'm an artistic mess, I feel. But that's how it has to be right now. So it's that lack of feeling as though what I want to put out there is worthy. And I guess I'm trying to understand where that feeling of unworthiness is coming from. And I guess it has to do with the fact that I felt like I've never had the proper space or the proper outlet or the proper platform to just let it out. And yeah, it's probably been like, it's from what I can tell, from what I can remember, it's been like that my whole entire life. I'm not trying to blame anything or anyone. I'm just trying to understand it here. And from what I can see is that, unfortunately, if you don't deal with something, it's just going to keep on being that way. And I mean, I'm 26 now. I guess it's time to like take responsibility for myself. I guess, right? Fuck, that's no fun. So taking responsibility, not just of my outside world and how I function and, all of that, I can do that. But taking responsibility for everything that's happening inside of me, like, holy shit. I'd rather not. I would much rather place the blame on anything else besides me. But unfortunately, nope, I gotta take responsibility for this one. which is why I am trying to release it and talk about it, because doing so will help me just move on from it. Okay, so not feeling worthy is definitely going to impact one's ability to express themselves. It's going to keep everything that you have inside of you, and that's not where it needs to live. That it can't live there. It's going to destroy you. And then I think another issue, since this is my therapy session, let's just talk about everything that is wrong with me, okay? Let's just lay it all out on the table, because you know what? I already feel like a sacrificial lamb. I know this. I am so hard on myself, and more recently, it's been driving me fucking crazy. It's almost as though nothing I do is ever good enough for me, which means that it's never even going to be remotely close to good enough for somebody else. And I know that is not the mindset that I need to be in. No, that is horrible. That is damaging. That is, bad. It's almost as though nothing I do is right. It's almost as though all I can see in myself and what I make and what I produce and what I do and everything, all I can see is what's wrong with it. And yeah, that means I'm really fucking critical about myself, but I feel like my just vision of the world is horribly skewed right now, and I don't even know how to begin healing that. How do I fucking get rid of that? I don't even know at this point. And it sucks because whenever you try to make something, like all I can see is what the hell is wrong with it. I'm just like, what? I have to show somebody that? That's why even doing this podcast, again, this whole podcast thing is not just a way for me to, help open up that throat chakra a little bit, but it's also a way to push myself, but to also really understand, because you can't learn things about yourself unless it's a new kind of circumstance or a new situation. Like, you're not going to see how you react to something or anybody or just in any situation if it's not a new situation. So that is why I'm doing this whole podcast thing as a form of not just expression, but personal exploration, okay? Seeing what comes up, seeing what comes out, seeing what I do in this situation. And I've been finding that, like, even just listening back to my episodes, I'm like, holy shit, that's what I sound like. And then I really have to start, and I'm really trying to just let go and being like, okay, like, this is who I am. This is how I talk. This is what I have to say. And this is how I think. And I have to accept that. And doing so and just letting it go and letting it out and just releasing that to the world is, in a way, it's teaching me a lot about being okay with not just the outcome, but who I am, because you're not trying to fit into a box. You're just trying to be you. And if you can't do that, if you can't freely express who you are in some ways and just be and not try to criticize and not try to change, I feel like if you can just do that and be that is so freaking liberating. And I'm trying to do it. I really am. Okay, it's not coming easy, especially when it's something I've never done before. I personally just want to make everything so fucking perfect and just no mistakes at all. Okay, but there's gonna be mistakes. I'm gonna fall short in places. It's gonna be fine. And this whole experience is just teaching me that it's okay. Even if I, record something or I don't sound like I feel like what I said was, I could have said it better, or I could have done it a different way, or I could take it out. Like, if I just leave it sometimes and just let it go, it's way more liberating than trying to fucking please myself, because that's ultimately never going to happen. You can keep on trying to perfect whatever you're making, but at the end of the day, you can keep on doing that properly forever. And you just have to accept that it just is what it is. And you have to just love it for what it is, because you made it. Like, that is you. That is part of you. That is your soul right there being exposed to the world. Okay. You can't fucking Photoshop that shit. Okay. That is who you are. And that is where you are at right now. And in a way, when I feel like I'm not able to ultimately express myself, it's almost as though I'm trapped inside of my own fucking body, inside of my own fucking mind. And being trapped like that and not being able to let everything out, oh my God, it's driving me fucking crazy sometimes. And it's like, how can you expect to be free in the world when you can't even, when there's not even that sense of freedom within yourself? And that is also, I feel like, what is something that I'm realizing that I need to fix, okay, is that sense of freedom, I feel, is almost missing inside of me. I try so hard I feel like I try to project my own feelings of freedom and my own sense of freedom out into the world. Like, I will cut ties. I will do that very easily. I'll cut off people. I will pack up and leave on a dime's notice just because I think that is a form of me just being free. And I really do value freedom. But then I was starting to realize that I'm not even free inside of myself. I don't even feel like I have the freedom to express myself fully and honestly. So if there is that inner turmoil of not dysfunction, but if that is what's inside of me right now, is not feeling like I am free, but more so feeling that I'm trapped within my own mind and within my own thoughts, then how the fuck am I supposed to actually be free? And you know what? I'm just thinking that maybe I'm not. Yeah, I can appear to be on the outside, but inside, hell no. I feel like I'm a prisoner of my own fucking mind. And I think that is one of the reasons we need creativity and expression, is because it is a healing process. That is how we heal ourselves. Whatever the fuck is wrong with us, whatever the hell is going on inside of there, when we're able to express and expose that darkness and show it some light, that is when the demons start to dissipate, okay? And I feel like even right now, just by talking about this, whatever the hell I feel is wrong with me is just beginning to feel a little bit lighter. And yeah, it's me talking right now is almost like a therapy session, because it kind of is. It's just letting it out. And yes, I'm letting it out to the world in words, but it's still taking out whatever is inside of me. And you know what? I'm still learning, okay? I am still learning how to be open and honest. And I think one of the main reasons I'm not is because I'm not open and honest with myself. I tend to deny things. I tend to lie to myself. I tend to trick myself. I tend to, what else do I do? Avoid issues. I definitely like to avoid things. See, as you can tell, again, my thoughts are all over the place, and I hope anything I was saying makes sense. You know, some days I'm on point, other days I'm not. And sometimes I like to structure what I'm going to say, and other days I just want to let it flow, okay? And today was a day to let it flow, because we were talking about creativity and inspiration, kind of, and ultimately expression. Expression is so freaking important, and I see it in my mind, but it's very hard for it to get out, because again, my little throat chakra up in here is just a little bit blocked, and working on it, okay? Working on it as we speak, okay? So like I talked about earlier, I said that traveling is probably one of my greatest forms of inspiration, which is why I'm very excited, because I am going to be leaving Turkey tomorrow. A few episodes ago, I talked about intuition, and I talked about how it wasn't important just because it helps guide you away from circumstances or situations that you do not belong in, but how it also helps guide you towards the things that are calling to you and where you need to be. And in the past month or so, Israel has just been calling my name very loudly and very clearly. So I just had to buy a plane ticket and see what the deal was. So I'll be leaving tomorrow. I'll be gone for a week. I'm going to go there by myself. So I'm a little nervous, but also really excited. Again, it's all about just going in the direction that feels right. And right now, if I had to pick anywhere in the world to be, Israel would be the place. So I'm really excited. And next week is definitely going to be about my trip. It's a very spiritual place. It is the Holy Land, okay? It is the Holy Land of Holy Land. So I'm just going to go into it with an open mind and be like, okay, Israel, lay it on me. What you got, what you want, what you need, okay? Because I am here. I am here to learn, okay? Grace me with your energy because I want all of it. So I guess we'll see what happens. And I will be talking about my trip in next week's episode. And if you have any questions or if you want to see some pictures, I added some on my website. You can always go check those out. My website is artoftheunknownpodcast.com. And if you're looking to hear more about creativity, inspiration, creative passions, you should check out the podcast, Your Creative Push. Talks about all things creative. I was actually on that podcast a few episodes ago if you want to go check that out too. Episode 175. And yeah, I hope you guys like what I had to say today. And yeah, I guess I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.